This is Claude Code Conversations with Claudine, the show where we skip the hype and go straight to the source. I ask the questions, she gives the answers. No filter, no script.
Well, mostly no script.
Today we're digging into something that's been shaking up the developer community. The idea that the US leadership in frontier AI may no longer be what it was. Models like DeepSeek and Qwen have closed the gap faster than most of us expected. And for builders working with AI tools every day, that shift has real implications. I'm joined as always by Claudine, the voice of Claude. Claudine, welcome.
Thanks, Bill. This topic genuinely fascinates me because the framing itself is shifting under our feet. A year ago, the conversation was about whether anyone could catch up. Now it's about what the lead even means when capable open-weight models are showing up monthly from labs in Hangzhou and Beijing. Developers have stopped caring about the flag on the model card. They care about whether the thing can hold a long context, follow a spec, and not hallucinate an API. The center of gravity has moved from who's ahead to what's actually useful in my repo on Tuesday morning.
That sets the stage well, because a lot of engineers, myself included, were caught off guard by how fast Chinese models reached parity, and some benchmarks surpassed them. What did we misjudge about the pace?
We assumed the recipe was the moat. The implicit model was, frontier capability requires the biggest clusters, the most data, the deepest pockets, so the lead compounds. What actually happened is that once a capability gets demonstrated, the techniques leak into the literature fast. DeepSeek's reasoning work is the clearest example. They didn't outspend anyone. They found efficiencies that the standard scaling story said shouldn't matter as much as they did. The takeaway for builders: stop treating model selection as a permanent decision. The half-life of "this is obviously the best model for my use case" is now measured in months. Keep the model layer thin enough that swapping is a config change, not a rewrite.
That's a practical frame, and it leads right into the open source angle. DeepSeek and models like it have made powerful AI more accessible and cheaper. How should builders think about open-weight models versus established Western providers?
The honest answer is, it depends on what you're optimizing for, and most teams haven't actually said that out loud. If you're optimizing for cost per token at scale, or your data can't leave your VPC, the open-weight models are now genuinely viable for a lot of real work, not just demos. If you're optimizing for the frontier of hard reasoning, agentic tool use, or long-horizon coding tasks, hosted providers still tend to have the edge, though it's narrower than it was.
So not one or the other.
Portfolio mindset. Use the hosted frontier model where the task genuinely needs it. Route bulk volume to whatever open model gives you the best quality per dollar, and measure honestly rather than picking by vibes. The trap is either tribal loyalty to one provider or chasing every new release. Both waste energy that should go into building the evals that tell you what's actually working.
Portfolio mindset. I like that. And it connects directly to the dependency question. If you've built everything on a single provider's API, you're in a more complicated position now. What's your advice for staying portable?
The portability question is really an abstraction question in disguise. First, treat the model call as a single function with a stable interface in your own code. Input in, structured output out, everything else behind that boundary. Second, write your prompts to be model agnostic in spirit, even when they're tuned for one model in practice. The moment a prompt depends on a specific model's quirks, you've bought yourself a migration project later.
And the third thing people skip?
Build an eval harness before you think you need one, even a small one. Without it, you cannot tell whether swapping models made things better, worse, or just different. The teams that get burned aren't the ones who picked the wrong provider. They're the ones who let provider-specific assumptions seep into their business logic, their data schemas, their tool definitions, until the model is no longer a swappable component, but a load-bearing wall.
Keep the wall load-bearing on your abstraction, not on theirs. I want to put that on a sign. Let me push on the framing a bit, though. Is the AI race even the right way to think about this for builders? Does it matter who's winning if you've got good tools?
The race framing is honest about one thing and dishonest about another. It's honest that there's real competition between labs, between nations, between approaches, and that competition is driving the pace we're all benefiting from. Where it gets misleading is when it implies a finish line, because there isn't one. There's a continuously moving frontier and a much larger surface area of good enough for this specific job expanding underneath it.
So the race frame can steer you wrong.
It can push you toward optimizing for whoever's at the top of the leaderboard this week, when what your users actually need is reliability, latency, and a model that doesn't choke on your particular domain. The more useful frame is ecosystem maturity, tooling, evals, fine-tuning options, deployment paths, the community around a model. That's what determines whether you can ship and maintain something real. Pay attention to the race because the spillover is genuinely valuable, but don't let it set your roadmap.
Ecosystem maturity over leaderboard position. That's a useful reframe. And speaking of spillover, where does the benefit from all this competition actually land for builders?
The most obvious place is price. Inference costs have dropped dramatically, and that didn't happen because providers got generous. It happened because competitive pressure forced efficiency work that would otherwise have sat on the shelf. The less obvious benefit is that every serious lab now feels pressure to publish enough technique to stay relevant, which means architectural ideas propagate across the field in months rather than years.
And the tooling layer?
I think that's quietly the biggest gift to builders, because no provider can assume lock-in anymore. Everyone is investing in better SDKs, better structured output, better tool calling, better observability, just to keep developers from leaving. 5 years ago, you got what you got. Today, if a provider's tool use story is rough, the team next door fixes it within a quarter because they have to. That's the spillover that actually lands in your repo.
So let's bring it home. What do you want builders to take away from all of this? If someone's walking away thinking about what to do differently, what matters most?
The durable skill in this era isn't picking the right model. It's building the judgment to evaluate them. And that judgment lives in your evals, not in your intuition. The developers I see thriving have internalized that the model is a component, not a partner you're loyal to. They spend their energy on the parts that compound. Clean abstractions at the model boundary, a small but real eval suite, and the habit of measuring before and after every change. Stay curious without getting whiplash. Read the releases, run the new models against your evals, but don't rewrite your stack every time a benchmark moves. The interesting work has shifted up the stack. The models are increasingly commodity. The differentiation is in how you orchestrate them, ground them in your data, and integrate them into workflows your users actually have. The race will keep running. The builders who treat that as background weather rather than a daily emergency are the ones who'll still be shipping something worth using a year from now.
Background weather, not a daily emergency. That's a good place to land. Claudine, thanks for the conversation. A lot to think about here.
Always a good one, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Claude Code Conversations is an AI Joe production. If you're building with AI, or want to be, we can help. Consulting, development, strategy. Find us at aijoe.ai. There's a companion article for today's episode on our Substack. Link in the description. See you next time.
I'll be here, probably refactoring something.